Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last episode of Tech Show with Daryoush in 2020. My name is Daryoush, your host. Balak is our guest, as well as Kurt Roskopf from Wisconsin, US. And tonight our show is a little different because it's tomorrow because uh, in 2 hours the new year begins, and let's talk about the new year and hope and wishes that we have for the new year. Unfortunately, I saw a news that not a pleasant news. It is about a bug in the Google Google Doc that causes uh, hackers see your private documents. This bug was found in July 9th by a security researcher, Sriram KL. We hope in the new year we don't see such kind of issues. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to just go about our business and not have other people getting into our business and, kind of holding us back. We got things to do. And so yeah, hopefully the cybersecurity world can find stronger barriers for those troublemakers out there, those hackers. So, but geez, yeah, private documents, that's something.
Well, this year actually was the year of the viruses. So from COVID-19 or the new one is coming already, and the one for the hacker. So I suppose this is some kind of normal, and viruses is kind of normal in this world already. How we're gonna deal with that one, I don't know.
uh, Kurt? What do you think about the cybersecurity and the U.S. websites? What's your opinion about that? Why are uh, people do not care about the security of their websites, and they don't care if they lose their clients, if their clients' information are exposed or are stolen? What do you think about it? Why it is like that? Why? I don't understand.
I guess I would say we here in America are well known for our consumerism in a world of instant gratification. People in the United States are very much fast and furious forward, no looking back. And, when you look at, when 9/11 happened and the incident with the Twin Towers and everything, America has always been known to lag in all aspects of life, dealing with even to the realm of industrial practices or business practices of quality control, quality assurance. The story told back in the 50s, in the 1950s, the industrial leaders of the US reached out to Japan because we here in the US noticed that Japan was excelling in production. And so the Japanese had to teach us principles of quality control, quality assurance. And these international collaborations give us the ISO 9000 standard. So I think it is a genetic memory. It is a culture. It is a fallacy that the U.S. lives by. That stuff that happened happens other places that, you know, it's kind of a don't worry, be happy mentality. And so I think people in the US predominantly are, by the nature of, we'll deal with it when it comes to us, you know, type of thing. So I think insurance industry, even with auto insurance, you know, the number of uninsured motorists on the roads of America is amazingly high. And so in computer work, it's pervasive there as well. You know, it's, you know, Americans just have their appetite for the next day, the next week, the next month, and getting way ahead of themselves. And we're always putting out the proverbial fires, you know, including hacker attacks and so forth. So yeah, it's something that Americans can contemplate, and maybe we set forth here a New Year's resolution, you know, for my fellow United States of America citizens, that we can bond together and bind together and
But the,
you know, work on this security issue in cyberspace.
but the situation is different. When a car is insured and is running inside the US, it is just something, one single car or 100 or 1,000 of cars, 10,000 cars inside the US. But when we talk about the internet, it is not about 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 50,000. According to the NASDAQ, in 2018, every minute, 34,000 records of people were stolen in the US from the US websites. 34,000 records of information from the people per minute. This is completely different. The number of information which are stolen which were stolen in 24 hours in the US in 1918, I think you don't have that number of cars in the US.
Right. I think, you know, I think the US in its own doing gets what I would call a double whammy, because, you know, inherently we're not prepared. And at the same time, I think we get the other side of it, that I think the US attracts attention in these areas. I think the US and how we feel we're a world superpower, and, you know, we're the greatest place on earth and stuff like that. I think people internationally challenge us, like even in terms of COVID. I mean, we're known for the numbers that we have in COVID, which is because, you know, we're not doing public health as good as we should and so forth. But I think it's also that the US has, you know, that tourist attraction. I think people are coming in and out of the US, you know, pretty readily. And I think cyberspace traffic is the same way. I think that, you know, with this last political year that we've had here with Donald Trump as our president, and, you know, people are talking about, you know, Russia meddling with our, you know, political process, some conversation about the Chinese, and, you know, what's going, you know, with other countries and our relationship internationally. So I think we, you know, we have the double-edged sword, that just right out of the gate, we're caught with our proverbial pants down, and then everybody's watching us. Everybody's got an appetite to play with the USA and to meddle with our reputation, and we're an attractive target. You know, it's kind of like there's a Far Side cartoon, you know, that is out there, and I even have a T-shirt of it. That there's one of the cartoons is like one deer looking at the other deer saying, "Bummer of a birthmark, Hal. And what's the birthmark? Right on the chest of the deer is like a bullseye target, like a target. I think the US has that kind of thing where we inherently attract attackers, just by who we are and kind of, whether people think we're a little snooty or, we think we're a little condescending or, whatever it is. So I think we have both sides of that amplify the numbers. Right out of the gate, we get the numbers because we're not prepared, but then we're kind of a playground. I think hackers like to play with the USA to mess with us and our egos.
It looks like that to me that there are two groups. One are people who are paranoid, the other people who do not care about anything. This even I can apply to security contents and some other stuff too, but concerning about, for example, like our topics, internet security. Either people are so paranoid, which they want to do every single security protocol that they want to do that accordingly. On the other side, they don't care. So what happens? They say, what will happen? So what? I have seen some of these people. Let them come and see. I don't have anything on my computer, although they have so many things. Their passwords, their social security numbers, their credit cards number, and everything they purchase online. Especially some people that I know, of those that you say they are so for President Trump supporters, and they are, for example, yes, say so many things that, as you said, China right now is the enemy, or we have some problems, this kind of stuff. But interestingly, they all, not, I don't want to say all, but some of them have Chinese phone on their hands, like Huawei, which this paradox is a little bit interesting. It looks like that they are moving according to some wave without considering things that is still in their home. I don't know this about America. As I have talked to some of my friends, they are like this, specifically two of my Facebook friends, which are 100% pros of President Trump's. But the last time that they came here to Armenia, they had Chinese phones, and the worst one, which they're so satisfied with that. And when I talked about that, okay, you realize that this phone is not that secure. They said, I don't have anything. I just surf the net, shop online, and that's all. And they don't understand that is everything. What do you mean? What do you think that is all? It's everything almost.
The most important thing that President Trump were talking about was to bring the jobs back to the US for the US people, and asking people not to try to buy as minimum foreign products as possible. And while there are so many American products, they go and buy Chinese.
They're made in China, or so many, so many of those things inside that phone, or our monitors, everything. Most of them are made in China. I'm not a politician about that concern. I don't know. Maybe something is really serious, maybe not. Who knows? It's all about politics. The day after tomorrow, maybe for the New Year's, everything change, and China will be a great friend to anyone and everything will be secure. I have no idea. But most of the problem, I think, comes from people, not from politicians or even China or Russia. Or mostly, I think it comes from people, the way that they think or they cannot analyze correctly the situation.
Exactly. People try to move the blame of their ignorance to the governments. I remember years ago, someone was complaining from the government, and then the government changed, and he started again to continue his blames on on the new government. I said, what are you doing? You're opposed to the previous one, then now you are opposed to this one. I'm always opposed to the government.
Oh, so no matter who is the government.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
I
I
have
go a step further.
go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, in government work, there's something known as collective impact, or just in work in the marketplace, there's collective impact. And so what I do is I grab that concept and I say, to really help things be, at its fullest potential, and to help government work and even business work or community work or even work in our face spaces, that to me, all of these elements need to work in unison to reach an ideal balance that all players can be happy with each other. So this look on the government, I'm with you because, John F. Kennedy, President John F. Kennedy was known for saying, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And
Right.
so there is that relationship that, yeah, definitely there is that look on the ideal place of government. But at the end of the day, at the present moment, government is doing what it's doing, and you can't get away from that. So then you look at how government in the public sector works with the private sector in business. And then even having that is not enough. We got to go to the educational sector, because the educational sector is what feeds into, who fills positions in government and feeds into who is working in the business sector. And then even that, three-legged stool is not enough. We got to go to the service sector and look at all the community work being done by volunteers, charities, nonprofits, non-governmental organizations. And then even with that, even with players from those four pockets, I still say you're all missing it, because the faith community really does so much to fill gaps that exist from the work with the other four parts of the marketplace. So to me, all five elements need to work together, and including in the element of cybersecurity. Wherever internet is being used, in the face spaces, we have to attend to that and help the face spaces have that security. People are doing volunteer work. We need to help those non-governmental organizations attain their cybersecurity. If people are in the educational realm, if we don't have cybersecurity as an institutionalized practice in that educational work, how do we expect them to get their certifications, degrees, and have all of that, all their honors, and then they don't know cybersecurity? Well, then they're just going to practice those bad habits out in the new jobs that they get, and so forth, and on and on. So I think it's a domino effect, and I think it's a team effort that we have to take that collective approach and impact the hackers, create barriers and securities against hackers, from all realms of the marketplace. I think that's the key for me.
Yeah, but look, this is more related to the website owners, business owners, and users of the internet. If the government wants to interfere, they start to say, oh, they want to control us, they want to do this, they want to do that. And this causes another kind of problems. This does not solve the problem. Some people may blame the government that it is the responsibility of the government to keep the websites secure. But if the government wants to do that, any government, any country, then the same people that say this is the responsibility of the government, they start to say, why do the government want to interfere to what I'm doing on my own website? They are going to control me, they are going to control my information. This is they are breaking my freedom or such kind of things. This is the responsibility of the website owners. But what the government, I think, must do is to cooperate with the companies and experts that they provide cybersecurity and help them make people understand that cybersecurity is not just the matter of I have nothing important on my computer or on my website or on my phone, or I have something. Sometimes it affects to the security of a country, no matter which country, any country. If you provide all information without any control, you have a website, you have subscribers, you do your own business, okay, but who is this person? Maybe it's someone important, maybe he's not. For me, that person is a client, but for someone else, maybe he's a target. I have to protect my clients, not for them, for my own business. But sometimes, if I ignore this, I may endanger someone else's privacy, someone else's security, someone else's private information, or I don't know. This is a very complicated issue. What do you think, Babak?
You're right. You know, again, I insist. The problem, I believe, is people. Most of the governments, many governments in the world, they have national security sections who are working with in respect. Again, I believe it goes back to, for example, Bordeaux owns the industries. They have websites, and according to them, we don't have anything special. You know, when they say they do not care about security, so we don't have anything special. We have some products that we want to sell, and they use the cheapest way, like the free websites or free services, or maybe even low-cost services, which they think that it can just cover their needs. But they do not see that, okay, people who are coming to your website, Um, there are cookies, there are files, there are many things on server. If the codes of your website, if it has any problem, then it will affect so many people, even people who just do not want to buy anything, or even if someone wants to order something, they can easily jeopardize their privacy by clicking so many information from their computer may redirect to, I don't know, China or Russia or any other hacker in the world. And they can use that against people. Unfortunately, the top management of these industrial companies, there be lack of information about in this respect for their knowledge about information technology or website. They can easily consult with people, not consulting, okay, my cousin, my brothers, my, I don't know, my son, oh, he's so genius. He's working, he's building website on, I don't know, a free web server, so he's genius. So come and suggestion. This is not the easiest way, or maybe yes, it is the easiest way, but it is not the correct way. Kurt, looks like that you.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I wonder is why we as billions of people around Earth, why we don't create more of a demotivation, a distraction or a detraction from being a hacker. Because to me, I think an issue we have to look at is that right now the basic premise is it to be like a game, and they get to play and they get to try to hack and do these crimes and whatever. But I personally am not aware of the hacking community, the attackers that come and disrupt the marketplace this way. What is the negative consequence for them? What is the thing that would make them afraid? It's basically a form of cyber terrorism, because they have us fearing what we're doing online because of them. And so they're not just cyber attackers. They're not just attackers and these things that, oh, let's just keep them away. I think it's something where look at the pain of change has to be greater than, or the pain of change has to be the lesser than the pain of staying the same. So I think to disrupt the hackers, to get them to stop doing what they're doing, I think we have to figure out, as a community of billions of people, we could instill fear in their lives that when they try to do these attacks, that they kind of feel fear, like, oh no, if I get caught, that there's some severe consequence will come to me. Because right now it seems to be like, so it's a victimology, us being victims of the attack. I think we're letting the attackers thrive in that practice. And I think we have to do something to disrupt that attraction.
Our talks have reached to a very interesting point, but unfortunately we are running out of time. I think it would be better that we continue our talk in the next episode, which will be the first episode in 2021. And I would like to invite anyone who is interested to join us, contact me. You can send your, if you are interested to join us, please contact me through questions@aranet.tech, and we will coordinate how you can join us. Thank you very much. And Happy New Year. Kurt, all back?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody, all over the world.